Hi everyone, hope you're all keeping well. Alan back again with Physical Media Lives. Haven't been around for a while, apologies for that. This little thing called life gets in the way sometimes when you're planning other things and other things get in the way. So family life and personal life had to take a priority for a little while. So back on the straight and narrow now, so nice to be touching base with you all again. This is just a small little pickup video. Few late Christmas presents that I got from a good friend and some nice pickups as well. Haven't got much yet this year. This is from the tail end of last year, start of January, but I have had a lot of stuff on pre-order. And to be honest, I'm sure like most of you, trying to get the finances back in order after Christmas is never that easy, but there we are, we're getting there, and some really nice stuff to look forward to later on in the year, which I'm sure I'll do videos for. But for the moment anyway, some nice pickups as I said, and a couple of late Christmas presents, so I'll go through them first. I might have mentioned once or twice that I like Hammer films. Yes, as you with your eyebrows reaching for the ceiling, but there you go. But good friend of mine in the UK got me some really nice gifts from Caroline Munro's website. Some of you will know Caroline Munro from many Hammer films, Dracula AD 1972. She was in the Captain Kronos film that Hammer released last year as their first 4K collector's edition. Those of you old enough will remember turning up the odd time on the old quiz show called 321, but only the very old guys like myself will remember that. But yeah, on the website he picked me up a few nice things. Caroline's released a nice autobiography, which I've read a little bit of and is very good so far, but he went to the trouble of getting her to sign the book for me. I don't know if you can see that there or not. I'll try and get it a bit better for you. It's written in Biro, so it's a little bit faint, but really lovely little message, very genuine message, which I was very touched by. But not only did he get those for me, he also organised a couple of nice signed photos for me, which apparently are all freely available at reasonable enough prices on Caroline's website. So again, she took the time to write a nice dedication on the photograph. Second one as well, photo as well, which I was really thrilled with, is a still from the Dracula AD 1972 film. So my hero Christopher Lee's in that one, and again a lovely dedicated message that she took the time to write. Classy lady, she actually took the time when I was sent the package to put a nice Christmas card in it as well, which is a lovely touch. So I'll treasure that, and really nice present from my mate Bernard in the UK. So thanks for that, Bernard, really appreciate that, and meant a lot to me, so thank you. Pickup wise, as I said, late Christmas, early January, a few things turned up, which I pre-ordered. First one is a steelbook of what some people would consider Jack Nicholson's finest performance. Not sure I'd necessarily agree with that. I mean, The Shining for me still does it, but to be fair, there's not a lot in it. But really class film, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Fantastic film. I'm sure most of you have seen it. To be honest with you, it's an all-time classic. So lovely to have it on 4K. I'd say the steelbook is okay. It's a little bit underwhelming, but nothing spectacular about it. But look, it's functional. It gets the job done. The main thing is, in terms of the film, the 4K transfer is excellent. It's really, really good, both visually and from an audio perspective. So that's all you can hope for. It's funny how all these classic films always seem to translate so well to 4K, but you know, who's complaining? Certainly not me. So delighted to have the film on 4K. Best it's ever looked, obviously. Mesmerising performances from a wonderful cast. Some nice extras on it as well. Not a pile of stuff, but what's there is of good quality and entertaining. So I'm sure it's still around. So well worth picking up in my opinion. This film I actually only got yesterday, and it's one that was recommended to me by two good mates of mine, Conor Gray and Steve Court, who I'm part of a great WhatsApp group with. This is Night of the Juggler, starring James Brolin, not Josh, James' dad. Never heard of it, but Conor and Steve had been telling me for a long time how good it was. The 4K set is from a company called Radiance, who I've never dealt with, but I know some people have. If this is the quality of their work, then I'll definitely be popping back in to have a look again. They do run a subscription service as well, I believe. But this is a really gritty, nasty, grimy, down-to-earth cop thriller. It's about a cop whose daughter gets kidnapped by a psycho. The cop is played by James Brolin, as I said, and just a total lunatic job that kidnaps his daughter, a case of mistaken identity, because he thinks it's the daughter of a wealthy businessman that he wants to get a ransom of. But the film is basically James Brolin's relentless pursuit of him to get his daughter back. That's really all you need to know. It's just really, really well done. It was made in 1980, and as I'm sure you'll agree with a cover like that, what else could it be? There's a nice book inside, booklet, behind the scenes of the film, some nice photos as well too, and very, very well priced, like a £30 sterling, €35 or thereabouts, which, you know, for a good solid case on it. It's not a steelbook or anything, but the 4K does have a nice slipcover on it, and you get the Blu-ray as well too, which you always should anyway, in my opinion. Again, plenty of features as well too, so took a punt on it because I trust Connor and Steve's judgment, and paid off in spades. Really, really enjoyed it. Watched it last night. May well have another look at it again at the weekend, because I really do like a good old-fashioned cop movie. It actually reminded me a little bit of, tone-wise anyway, not story-wise, of one of Pacino's early films, Serpico, which some of you might have seen. So it's definitely had the feel and tone of that, the real 80s vibe. So definitely worth recommending. I don't think there's a lot of them left out there, so if you're interested, then maybe have a look. It's definitely one I'm really glad I took a shot on. So thanks to Connor and Steve for the recommendation. Next one I got is actually arrived today. Arrow's, one of Arrow's latest offerings, and film that I've always loved, Excalibur. Liam Neeson, Helen Mirren, Gabriel Byrne et al. A small role for Patrick Stewart in it as well too. Shot in my own home country of Ireland. Had a childhood memory from me, because way back in the mists of time, we were taken on a school trip up into the Dublin mountains and taken to a film set, and the film set was indeed Excalibur, and we were shooting some of the outdoor scenes there. So my music's not that good. It was a day out, so I'm sure I enjoyed it, but always a film I enjoyed. I saw it for the first time in the early 80s at school, actually, because we had a film club at school for a couple of years on Friday nights during the summer, and that was one of the earlier films I saw. Young Frankenstein is when I seem to recall seeing that film club as well too. So the education was getting done for me at school in relation to good films. So yeah, this is what definitely a Marmite film. People either love it or hate it. There's no in between with it. You know, Liam Neeson, Gabriel Byrne, Helen Mirren et al. Decent cast. The 4K transfer is solid, as you'd expect from Arrow. 5.1 audio mix, which is perfectly serviceable. The film does have a kind of hazy, misty look to it, but that was deliberate from the director, John Borman. It's the look he wanted to convey, like it being on the moors and stuff like that. So if you're into sword and sorcery, a little bit of nudity and fornication, and, you know, all that kind of malarkey, then this will be for you. I would say the packaging is not up to Arrow's normal high standard. The outer casing is fine, but the quality of the art card stroke photos in it is okay, pretty average, to be honest with you. They definitely didn't use the same high quality paper with the booklet as well too, and the poster. But, you know, maybe the fact that it's a 3-disc set is the reason for that. There's a 4K disc, which has the film in it obviously as well too, and there's a 4K disc with special features, and then there's a Blu-ray which has the TV cut of the movie, which I haven't watched yet. I haven't watched the full film yet because I only got this today, so I watched the first 40-45 minutes of it just to get a flavour of the transfer and give you some feedback on it. I did enjoy it. It's just a film I like. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but, you know, because of the loyalty points program with Darrow, I did get 10 quid off it, so it wasn't overly expensive, and I'm just glad to have it. They have skimped a little bit from what they normally do. I've not really got an issue with that. At the end of the day, the film is still good. solid transfer, and audio wise it's fine as well. I'd rather they skimp on this and go hell for leather with the upcoming Salem's Lot release, which I really hope they throw all the bells and whistles at, because I know that's one that a lot of us have been looking forward to for a long time, and I would be very, very surprised if that didn't sell out. So the pre-order went in a long time ago, so looking forward to that. But you know, if you do the loyalty points program yourself and you can get a few quid off, then by all means go for it. I suspect it won't sell out because it's not a very high profile film, so it may well turn up in one of Arrow's sales, which they do regularly. So, you know, definitely one to keep an eye on, in my opinion. And then the last fella that we'll look at is a Spielberg Tom Cruise collaboration, Minority Report. Film I've always enjoyed, based on a book by Philip K. Dick, who, as a lot of you know, also wrote Blade Runner. Really good sci-fi, good story, well acted, well performed. My fellow Dublin man Colin Farrell is in it, one of his earliest films, I believe. Gives a good solid performance, as he always does. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. You always know what you're going to get with Tom. I think the real star of the film is Max von Sydow, the late great German actor who I always had a lot of time for. He of Exorcist fame, obviously, as well too. He was excellent in it, but then anything I ever did see him, and he was always excellent. So it's a nice steelbook. You know, and the J card is one of those that comes off easily and goes back easily. Don't know why they don't do them like that all the time. Maybe cost reasons or whatever. It doesn't always boil down to that. But the film is very good transfer. Well worth having. Excellent audio as well too. Plenty and plenty of special features, which I was surprised by. Tom Cruise movies, apart from the Mission Impossible ones, tend not to have a lot, but there's plenty on this, behind the scenes stuff, etc. and all that. And yeah, well worth having, to be honest with you. So glad to add it to the collection. So that's pretty much it, guys. Oh, one more actually, now that I think of it. See if I can find it. I was holding this back for the end, to be honest with you. Some of you might recall last December I mentioned I had pre-ordered an Italian edition of Once Upon a Time in America from a company called Eagle Productions in Italy. For Cult Prestige is the label they use for these titles. It's obviously in Italian, so don't think there's anything wrong with your screen. Film I've always loved. I was very anxious to get it on 4K. It's a hard one to talk about, this one, because I'm not sure how I feel about it. Am I glad I have it? Yeah. One or two issues I would have with it. It cost me about €65, which is about the same price that, say, a Universal Collector's Edition or Warner Brothers Collector's Edition would cost me, and just slightly less than a Hammer edition. So maybe my expectation levels were too high. The packaging, it's alright. It's quite flimsy in comparison to other stuff that I've got. There is a sort of booklet and photos in it. The photos look like, remember those old disposable cameras that you used to see in nightclubs and pubs years ago, and they'd print you off a quick photo. So not overly impressive, to be honest with you. So the packaging and the sort of little goodies that you get with it were a little bit of a letdown. The film, though, it's a 6-disc set, and maybe that's where I have the issue. It's 2 4Ks, 2 Blu-rays, and 2 DVDs. The 4Ks are 2 editions of the film. The extended cut that was on Blu-ray that went out of print a few years ago, the guts of 4 hours or whatever, and then the sort of 229-minute cut, which is the one that most people seem to have, I think. So the extended cut is with lost footage that has been restored to the movie. I say restored very loosely. When I was watching the movie for the first time, there was quite a heavy disclaimer in the menu on the way in saying, look, they did their best with the restoring the footage, but basically you're talking about really badly damaged source material. In fact, you're talking about film fragments, not film cells, like just fragments of film. So they're not in line with the rest of the restoration. Does it ruin the film for me? To be honest, no, not really. It's just it would have been lovely if they'd been able to restore it to a higher standard than that. But sometimes you have to accept the fact that source material is so badly damaged, there's only so much you can do with it. And look, you know, technology being what it is and AI being used more and more, might be somewhere further down the line Warners or somebody like that who were apparently involved in some of the restoration work on this might do a collector's edition of their own, who knows. Um, but overall, it's two really good versions of the film, and it's a class film. And so overall, the 4K transfer is solid. The audio is good. As I said, in an ideal world, the restored footage would have been perfect. But look, we don't live in an ideal world. If you're interested in it, still around. There's a couple of things potentially could happen. It is limited to, I think, 3,000 units. I suspect it won't sell out because feedback got out pretty quickly about how the restored footage wasn't maybe in line with the rest of the restoration, so that might have put a few people off. Plus the price, to be honest with you. So two things can happen here. It will possibly drop in price if it hasn't sold out, which I don't think it has. There is also a basic 4K edition available for about €25, 20 odd quid. So you could go that way if you want to. I think playing the waiting game is probably the best thing to do. I'm glad I have it. You know, there's worse things I bought in my collection that I regret buying, so I don't regret getting it. Like it could be some time yet before you see a really top of the range 4K collector's edition. The composition of the set is what put me off a little bit. I mean, what do you need 2 DVDs for? Like, you know, don't wish to sound snobby or anything like that, but I'd rarely buy DVDs now. If it's a film I want and it's the only format it's available in, then okay, we'll do it. But Blu-ray minimum. But if it's available in 4K, that's generally the way I'll go now. But look, it is what it is. It's not the worst edition, collector's edition I've seen. Maybe we're living in an era now we're just getting spoiled a little bit, and our expectation levels get a little bit too high. But look, I'm glad I've got it. No regrets in that respect. It's still a great film. Always has been, always will be. And you know, who knows what will happen further down the line. So if you're interested, as I said, it's just available on Amazon Italy. Keep an eye out. Maybe it'll drop in price or whatever. Who knows? But no regrets getting it. So that is it from me, guys. I will be back again soon. Challenge has been issued to me via a tag on the various YouTube channels, which I've decided to accept. I won't say what it is yet, but I expect to get that video together hopefully in the next couple of days or so. So we'll talk to you again soon. And please like and subscribe and post comments below. Always love hearing from you, and I will always reply. The only way to do it. Talk to you again soon, guys. Take care.